All right, so I can't cook. Like, I can boil water. Like,
That's a good start.
I can do some things, but Katie's gonna teach me how to do this. This. I can follow a recipe, but following a recipe really isn't cooking. Like, cooking is adapting to things that happen while you're trying to execute a recipe. That's my definition of cooking. Uh, because it never goes according to the plan on a recipe. At least my experience.
Sometimes it does.
Well,
You got to be able to feet in
never
case
does.
you forget an ingredient or you realize you don't have enough of something. So we're making simple baked chicken recipe, and our chicken was thawing in the sink in cold water. We've got our glass baking dish that Alan has sprayed, and he's about to put the chicken in the pan, and we want it to be skin side up.
Now you realize at this point I have no idea how many pieces I have. I got to put in there. So I'm hoping everything
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
fits.
It's going to be a surprise.
Now she said skin side up, and like I knew what that meant, but there's apparently a side with skin on it and a side without.
Correct.
Okay, and you were asking me to put the skin side up. Why would you want to do that?
So you bake the chicken originally with the skin side up for the first 30 minutes. Then you take it out and turn it over so the skin side is facing down. Cook it for another 15 minutes and then repeat. Turn the chicken one last time, skin side up, put it in for the final 15 minutes. The way that the fat renders into the meat itself, it actually drips into the chicken if you put it skin side up first. If you put it skin side down first, it's all just going to sit in your pan, and then you're going to be basically boiling or steaming your chicken
Yeah,
instead of baking it.
I've done that. I think
It's not bad,
it's not
but
as
it's not
good.
as good, and you won't get crispy chicken skin on the
Okay.
top when you're finished.
So I don't know if you all can tell, but I failed at the skin side up portion. So Katie's making sure my chicken thighs are skin side up. Now this is what I'm talking about. I was worried that all the chicken wouldn't fit.
I know it would.
Okay.
I've done this a few times. All right, now we're gonna preheat the oven.
I got really excited.
Alan's
about
really
it.
excited about preheating the oven.
Preheat. Ooh, 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 ooh.
How high did you put the oven?
425.
Yes, 425.
Now, did we adjust the temperature of the oven or the cook time based because the dish was so full of chicken? You made an adjustment. I just can't remember what it was.
I did not make an adjustment.
Oh.
It's okay though.
All right.
All right, so now we are moving on to what seasonings we're going to put on the chicken. We've got some fresh lemons. So Alan's going to get a mug so we can mix the lemon with some olive oil and garlic. And he chose my favorite coffee mug. That was my Christmas present this year.
That's right.
Grabs the seasoning. We've got some poultry seasoning. We've got some paprika. And we've got some garlic pepper. So there's a little bit of leftover lemon from a recipe that we had cooked a couple days prior. And we're just going to use that small portion of lemon and then the juice of one whole other lemon.
Do you think we should get a juicer? I was thinking we should get a juicer.
Was that difficult to juice the lemon?
I don't know if I got all the juice out. I could have with the juicer. If we had a juicer.
Had a juicer?
Yeah, we left some juice on the table.
Okay. Well, I guess we're about to invest in a juicer. I have a zester.
I don't know what that is.
So that you can get the lemon zest. The yellow part of the lemon. Sometimes a recipe calls for lemon zest or orange zest. The orange chicken we made the other day.
The
Had
orange
orange
chicken,
zest.
that orange chicken you made, yeah, because I have no idea what orange zest is.
Sure.
Okay.
The other tip that I often use is that if your lemon is not very ripe and you feel that it's going to be pretty firm when you try to squeeze it before you cut it in half, you can roll it on the table under your palm, kind of push down a little bit, apply the pressure. That helps release some of the juices and it'll make it easier to squeeze if you don't have a juicer. Alternatively, you can put it in the microwave for a couple seconds to help get the juices flowing as well. I think you did a great job.
I think I left a lot of juice still in there, but that's cool. This is my first time juicing lemon. That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm a cook. Cooking.
You're pretty much a professional. So the next thing that we're doing is we are going to add a couple of teaspoons of minced garlic to our lemon juice. I typically buy the little jars that are in olive oil. It makes it easier because it saves the time of having to chop or mince your own garlic. I do, from time to time, take time to do that. But in this case, we were looking for something that was simple, so we went with the jar variety. You can buy that in the produce department.
Now this may be a silly question, but like teaspoon, is that like heaping, like overflowing the edge, or should that be just like?
It should be to the top of your spoon,
Okay, so not
a heaping teaspoon.
Not what I do.
No.
Okay.
There was still some left in the jar. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all about your taste too. The next thing that we're doing is we're putting a couple tablespoons, which is why he just showed you the bigger spoon. We're putting a couple tablespoons of olive oil into the mixture. We'll mix and add that together, and that will be the base for your chicken. If a recipe calls for a heaping teaspoon or tablespoon of something, it will specify that. But again, it's all based on your taste. If you really like garlic, go ahead and put some more garlic in there. If you're not much of a garlic fan, maybe you only want to do a half a teaspoon instead.
So now I'm trying to make some art happen. I'm trying to make magic happen right now.
So he's evenly distributing.
Evenly. Perfectly.
Yes.
I'm counting the garlic cloves. Oh.
Sure. 1 spoonful per piece of chicken.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm so focused right now trying to get this like evenly distributed, or like don't mess this up.
The good news is that when you're cooking,
Yeah.
it's really hard to really mess things up.
I've really messed things up before.
How did you do that?
I confused tablespoon versus teaspoon once.
Then you just adjust the rest of your ingredients.
That's high level cooking. I was not ready for that. So.
So we're almost done with the marinade base. Next, we're going to go on to our dry ingredients. The reason that you want to put your wet ingredients on first is if you initially start with your dry ingredients and you put a wet ingredient on top, you are going to all of the dry ingredients are going to just run off your chicken. So always do a wet season first. So we've added some salt to the top. I had asked Alan if he could get some garlic pepper. He accidentally grabbed garlic powder originally. So now we're going with the garlic pepper. I like garlic pepper because it gives you a little extra flavor with the spice of garlic.
So I have no idea how much I'm putting on right now. Like I'm terrified. Like I'm over prepping or over seasoning this. Like, so how do I prevent that? Like, just wing it, or
The challenge is that when You cook often, you cook based on sight, you don't cook based on measurements. So I like to add what I feel is enough pepper, but I tend to over season sometimes. The only thing that I would caution you on is if you don't like real spicy food, be careful and maybe mix all of your dry ingredients in a dish, stir them together, and then sprinkle them on top. And it's a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah, I mean,
Now we've
obviously,
added the paprika. Alan really likes paprika, so
apparently.
no, but he really does like paprika. But there were a couple pieces that had a little bit more seasoning than others, and that's
So good.
okay.
So good. Those are my pieces.
Yes, I'll let you have all of them.
All right, I will. I'll eat them all too.
And the final piece before we actually put it in the oven, I have a quarter of a yellow onion. Again, that was used from another recipe, but we're just going to add it. It's an aromatic. It helps when you're baking to give some extra flavor. Other aromatics that you can add into your, meat dishes as they're baking. The leaves from celery or the inside of your celery stalks are really, really good, as well as carrots. Alan, why are you looking at the knife funny?
Because you told me I grabbed the wrong knife.
What kind of knife did you grab?
I had a meat knife. Or
You had a steak knife?
Steak knife. I had a steak knife. And I needed
A chef's knife?
chef. So, yeah, I was mortified. Like, she's got me on camera. I got to chop this onion.
A rough chop, so that means it needs to be in big pieces.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant. Like, you know what that meant. But, like, for somebody who's new to this, relatively new, really new. Yeah. So, but we got it done, and nobody was injured in the process.
No, but going back to the knife, originally you had a serrated knife, which means it has a little bumpy bottom on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really tough when you're trying to chop vegetables. So it's always better if you don't have a big chef's knife, you can use a paring knife or any other type of smaller, sharp knife that's not serrated. And just sprinkle that over the top evenly. They're going to bake down. When you flip your chicken, they're going to end up underneath the chicken. It's all just adding extra flavor.
So yeah, so the difference again, I try to follow these like exact recipes, and you just spitballing, eyeballing, winging it. So
I look in my
awesome.
Pantry and my spice cabinet and my refrigerator. I grab some ingredients, I put them on the table, and then I start messing around and trying to make magic.
I love it.
Sometimes it doesn't taste as good as others. Sometimes it's a home run. You just can't be afraid to get in there and try.
Get in there and try. That's what we're doing. All right. So got my oven mitts ready to go. Look at that.
Professional.
So now we're going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Again, 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you were baking these and the chicken pieces were still frozen, you may want to increase the temperature of the oven or possibly extend the bake time. Similar if you're using different types of chicken.
Pretty proud of myself. Give you a high five.
I know. Look at how excited you are.
I know.
We're about to take the chicken out of the oven. 30 minutes has passed. And we're ready to do the first turn. Alan likes to dance and make puppet people out of the oven mitts. What are you thinking right there?
Come on, finish cooking. I was waiting for the timer to go. Oh, key point. Whenever you open the oven, you gotta let the heat blast escape. Otherwise, you'll learn the hard way.
That you'll cinch your eyebrows and eyelashes.
So this looks good.
Looks delicious. There's a nice brown crisp on the top because we put that olive oil on the top. The fat rendered into the chicken, so it's seasoning your chicken that way as well. We're ready to turn them over to be skin side down for the next 15 minutes.
So So I definitely should have kept an oven mitt on my left hand, the one I'm not using to flip, because I almost reached up and grabbed that hot glass.
Yeah,
It's coming. Is it coming? It's coming.
I also find it interesting the way that you're using the kitchen tongs, because
Well-
instead of squeezing them and using them as tongs, you're kind of almost using it like a spatula.
So when I tried to squeeze the first one, like the skin started to come off. I didn't want to take the skin off. Don't knock my technique.
It's great. It works.
Oh, is the chicken flipped?
Yeah, and you didn't even burn your hand.
I know. Now I'm thinking. Yeah,
now he's like, I might burn my hand.
I almost went and grabbed it because it started to slide off the stove. So,
All done.
all right, grab it.
A little itch.
Yes. I'm feeling pretty geeked at this point. Like got my chicken flipped, oven, let the heat blast go, back in. Now you made me move from the middle rack in the oven to the top rack in the oven.
Yep.
Why?
So at this point, we want to brown the chicken more so, and the heat source that's at the top is going to help you do that.
All right. Well,
Cook it for another 15 minutes. Remove, turn it one more time, skin side up. Last 15 minutes, and you are all set.
it's great. Thanks.
Yeah.